This episode of the Accounting Insiders Podcast is brought to you in part by Xero. Xero is a powerful cloud accounting software that improves efficiencies across your practice. With all client data stored on a single unified ledger, you and your clients can easily access and collaborate on the same set of books. Xero's advisor tools and automation solutions reduce time-consuming manual tasks and put data entry on autopilot. Work faster and more efficiently than ever before with Xero. Visit xero.com/accounting insiders to learn more.
Hey, it's Gary Dehart with Insightful Accountant, filming here at Xerocon 2024 in Nashville, Tennessee. Just a short episode of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. And I am sitting here with Michael Wood of Translucent. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking a few minutes and just kind of give high level, maybe actually a little bit of your background, because I think that's important. And then just a little high level of what Translucent's about, what companies you work with as far as what you're integrated with, and just any other details you might want to share about the product, the company, and your roadmap.
Sure, happy to. So I'll probably start at the background then, because it sort of really feeds into what we're building at Translucent. In 2010, I founded a company called Receipt Bank that's now known as Dext.
Yep.
So they're another exhibitor here, and built that business over about a decade to sort of tens of millions of revenue and sold hundreds of employees and sold that quite successfully. But one of the issues in building that was we were in 8 different countries around the world. And so we're running 8 different companies and therefore 8 different Xero files. So I experienced firsthand what it's like to try and run a business using multiple Xeros as the accounting system. Yeah. And it's no insult to Xero. It's not designed to do that, but we experienced quite a few issues.
Right.
And so using different apps, using Excel, obviously quite a lot of manual labor, we tried sort of various things, sticking plaster to make 8 different Xeros into a single accounting system. But it wasn't designed to do that. And in the end, we moved to NetSuite. And obviously, NetSuite migration is an expensive thing in time and money. And ever since then, I've always seen what I saw as, or I call the Xero NetSuite gap. And there's businesses like ours who, frankly, don't need NetSuite. They're not about to IPO. They're not these great big things, but they're running multiple Xero files. They are multi-entity, and that might be multi-entity all in the US, or it might be one in the US, one in Canada, and one in the UK. It can be international or just national. And so saw this thing, the Xero NetSuite gap, and what I thought for a long time was, there's a really interesting opportunity to build another app that just sits on top of Xero and other SMB accounting solutions and ties them together to basically combine them into a single system. Okay. And so that's what Translucent is. So the aim of Translucent is to enable you to combine multiple Xeros into a single system. Okay. And so to be really clear, you keep using Xero, it still does all those intra-entity things, but we just provide those intercompany workflows on top.
Okay, and is it launched? You're in beta? What's the
status? We are launched. We're still quite new. We're still about 2 years old. Okay. But we've already built. There's obviously a lot of workflows to be built in sort of building what is almost in effect a competitor with something like Sage Intacct. Yeah. The first workflow we ever built was actually search, which was just the ability to search across all the transactions and journals of all the entities in one place. Obviously incredibly useful for AP clerks and various other situations. The next workflow we built for was consolidation, exactly what you'd expect it to, whether it's 2 entities or 200 entities, gives you a single income statement, balance sheet, cash flow reports, trial balance. Okay. The next one we built intercompany. And what intercompany does, it looks at all the loan balances, the intercompany loan balances and AP and AR accounts and gives you the matrix. Obviously, many firms, many CFOs already have this in Excel, but this gives you it live. So the ability to sort of see any imbalances in the intercompany accounts and then crucially fix them from one place. You can click through from Translucent and we will post back to Xero to correct the imbalance. Again, things like recharges as part of our intercompany workflow to set up recharges on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, add margins, whatever has been paid for one entity, but actually probably applies to more than one entity. We've just started working on our treasury workflow, which is all about cash management so far. The ability, again, take all those bank feeds from all those entities, see them in one place. You know, what is the group cash position? Which entity maybe needs money transferred to it? And we started working on our financial close workflow. Again, what you'd expect to be just how to speed financial close across the group. I'll stop there because I've talked quite a lot, but there's a lot more to build.
Yeah. Well, so what's next? Like, what's next to build? Like, if you can share.
So there's 2 or 3 things we've got up our sleeve, but the big thing I talk about is we've got a lot more to do around financial close and quite a bit more around the automation of intercompany. So right now in intercompany, it's still quite manual, you know, to post back to Xero. There's no reason we can't automate that kind of stuff. So that frankly, a business, a group should never have imbalances, you know, it automatically corrects itself.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that's possible, and that's the kind of stuff we're building towards.
Okay. Is your background more on the tech side, more on the accounting side, or a little bit of both?
That's quite that's quite the question. Right? I think like most of your guests, I'm a trained zoologist. I'm sure I'm not, you know, that's probably the standard answer you get.
Yep, every time.
Yeah, so sorry to be boring everyone.
Yes.
But no, in the UK, I'm Scottish originally, and in the UK, it's quite normal to do a bit of a random degree. So I did zoology. Then I was a management consultant for a while, but that was in the dot-com boom. And so that pulled me into the sort of slightly into the tech side.
Gotcha.
And then my moment of good fortune was I helped to build an accountancy practice from sort of 2005 to 2010. Okay. And I was one of the first clients in the world to use cloud accounting. So I was one of the first 100 people in the world to be a cloud accounting user. That was in 2007. And
was that on Xero?
No, Xero Xero would have been launched in New Zealand then. There's a system in the UK called Cashflow, but Cashflow spelled a K in the beginning. Okay. So I experienced and got to sort of familiar with cloud accounting very, very early. And that was why I was, you know, I consider that I was so fortunate to do that. And that's why by 2010, I saw the opportunity to create Dext. Right. Because I saw sort of some of the opportunities and workflow challenges that everything being in the cloud presented. Yeah.
So why did you choose zoology? I have to go back to that. I mean,
because it's just so normal.
Why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I like animals.
Yeah, it pretty much was that. It pretty much was that. My school was sciences were my thing, sciences and maths. Okay. My school wanted me to be a doctor. I had zero interest in being a doctor. Didn't really want to be a vet. Yeah. And zoology, you know, going to university to do chemistry or physics, no offense to all those that did it, but for me was a bit dry. And so zoology felt like the right thing. But,
there you go. All right.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So what, so the byline, or not byline, but your, one of your lines is it, does your company stink or your book stink? What is it?
Does your intercompany stink?
Does your intercompany stink?
Yeah.
All right.
So what we feel is that a lot of companies that are running the situation, multiple entities on Xero, they're running horrific intercompany processes and hitting all sorts of problems. So yes, the strap line we've come up with is, does your intercompany stink?
Right, and so your mascot would be?
Mascot, quite obviously, is a skunk.
It's got to be a skunk. If there's only a skunk around here somewhere.
If only there was. Exactly. So, like any founder who's done zoology at Xerocon, I've been wearing this. So this is it still fits. So yeah.
So there you go. I like it. That is.
That doesn't mean they stink.
Doesn't mean they stink, but it's game day. We're right here. That's probably a trademark, and I'll probably get a trademark like agreement or something from whoever owns that. But I'm sorry, my apologies. Couldn't pass it up. So thank you so much. Anything that we missed? Oh, how do people find you?
Very good question. So the website is translucent.io. And so, yeah, come and seek us out, and, love to help you with all those group businesses and multi-entity businesses.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for your time.
Absolutely.